Where do you make your decisions from? Well, there's a simpler formula to figure out how that works, and I'm going to share that with you today. So we make our decisions generally from three places. There's our mind, where we make decisions logically, we pay our bills, we get things done. It's a very active place. There's our heart, our endearment, our love for others, oftentimes our motivation, sometimes our anger, that kind of thing. And there's our gut, our stomach, our gut instinct. You know, that's why sometimes when things feel really exciting, we feel like we've just gone on a roller coaster, or when something doesn't feel good, we kind of feel sick to our stomach. Now, ultimately, it is the heart that is the seat of the soul. That is the part that really drives our decisions or is in our best interest. However, if we are not taking into account what our logical mind is saying or what our gut instinct is saying in conjunction with them, sometimes we can make choices that are not necessarily in our overall best interest. For most people, two of the centers tend to be dominant. So for instance, you'll have someone who's, say, an accountant. Well, that would be their logic center as being dominant, and then they followed their heart. So they feel perhaps safe in working in numbers and columns and rows and having parameters, as an example. So how is it that we check in to see what our centers are? Well, actually, it's quite simple. And believe it or not, you can do it pretty much every day with almost anything. So I'm going to take a really simple example. I had a woman come see me and I was teaching her about the three centers. And before she arrived, I knew she was very much about columns and rows. And she said to me, "I don't get it." And I said, "Not a problem." So I used an example that I knew would resonate with her. So I said to her, "You go to Starbucks?" She said, "Yep." I said, "Okay. We're going to play a little game here to figure out for you how to figure out your own centers." I said, say, hypothetically, you go into Starbucks and you take a look at the big board and there's three choices on the board that you can choose. One is a black coffee, nothing in it. One is that caramel latte thing that they do with all the sprinkles and the syrup. And one is a really cool herbal tea that all your friends have been completely raving about. Which one do you choose? And without missing a beat, she said, "Oh, the black coffee." And I said, "Okay, why?" And she said, "Oh, because there's no calories in it, because it's early in the morning, because it's a wake me up, it's a pick me up." I'm like, okay. I want you to know there's no wrong answer here. But in your choice, where are you making that decision from? And she was like, "I don't know." And I was like, okay. You said to me black coffee, and the very first thing you said was that for you, it had no calories, it was simple, it was the morning. I never mentioned it was the morning. Where is that coming from? She goes, "Oh my God, right here." I said, "Exactly. It's that simple." I said, "So now, if your heart could have chosen what you really wanted from those three choices, which would you have chosen?" And without skipping a beat and without a breath, she was like, "Oh, the caramel latte sprinkle. Hands down." I said, okay, it is that simple. So our heart needs to work in conjunction with our mind and with our gut. They work best when they're a team, but we do have to accept that at times we tend to have two centers that are dominant. And when we go through flux, or when we go through, challenges in our life, sometimes our centers can change. We can become more heart-centered. The one thing that you don't want to do is have only one center making all the choices. So if you're purely logical, your relationships will suffer. If you're purely through the heart, your life tends to be in a bit of turmoil and mess because you're overdone in the heart energy. You let people walk all over you, you give too much, you don't keep enough for yourself, there's not enough healthy boundaries, that kind of thing. So figuring out where you make your decisions from literally can be applied to everything that you do. Once you get into the habit of that, you'll get to understand yourself a lot better. And eventually, what will happen is that you'll be less reactive to others. Not only that, you'll get to understand where they're making their decisions from because it will become so natural to you that you'll be able to offer forgiveness and love to the people around you because they're making their decisions based on a lack of something or a plus of something. And once you understand that, you become less reactive to any kind of antagonistic things, etc., that kind of thing. You sit more centered. You understand your point of balance. And it's that simple. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you'd like to know more, please feel free to visit me at withangela.com or follow me on Facebook.